We are. Yes.
Hello, hello, hello. Yay, we are back.
Yes, we
Maya
are
is
back.
back for her
Hello.
vacation and time to just spend time with herself and her family.
Yes, I had a beautiful time. I went to Colombia
Yes.
and I went to this beautiful place that I didn't know, and that's Bastet. Hi,
She's saying
Bastet.
hello. She's
She's
being
saying hello
supportive.
too. She's behind
Yeah,
you.
she's behind. Yeah, she missed me. See, it was 2 weeks. She missed me.
So I went to Colombia for my birthday. I had a
Happy
beautiful. Thank you so
birthday.
much. I so love the place where I went to. I had my rebirthing moment, as I call it. I was in this mountain, and this river was just flowing so easily and peacefully,
Oh, how beautiful.
and I was just there
It
in the middle of
sounds
nature with,
beautiful.
oh, in my element. I was
Oh,
in my element, and I had this silence and quietness. Just a moment. I had a beautiful moment, so I'm very thankful for it.
yes, and those beautiful silent moments where we have
Yes,
time to just go in and reflect and enjoy and just look back, forward, but be in the present always.
yes, definitely.
Be always,
And always in gratitude because
think,
there is another
always.
cycle, a new opportunity to, in my case,
Mm-hmm.
to serve life, because this is what I'm dedicating myself at this moment in life to serve, teaching and offering healing, and mostly teaching. I just
Yeah,
think I came to.
and she's a great teacher. We
Thank
just
you.
had another class graduate past
Yes,
weekend, so
yes.
congratulations
Thank you so
to Jasmine
much,
and
Jasmine
Dave.
and Dave. And then we will have 19 new
Next
students
tomorrow.
graduating this
19, can
weekend.
you imagine 19 wonderful souls coming to be of service for us as facilitator in family constellation?
Mhm.
Bravo.
Bravo.
And
Bravo
congrats.
for them that they decided
Bravo.
they gave themselves the opportunity to transcend themselves,
Yes.
and also to help their system, their family system, to be transcended through their own healing, and also to serve life through their own healing as well.
So we are so blessed.
Yes,
And
we
thank you to
are.
our teacher.
Thank you so much. I mean, if
So,
you weren't there, then I wouldn't be able to fulfill my purpose.
so I mean, we haven't even said our names for the new people that are coming on. So my name is Jana Altagracia. This is Maya
María
Dariel
del
Sol.
Sol,
And
and
we
yeah.
welcome you all. The ones that are new, welcome. And the ones that are faithful and loyal to us, thank you, thank you, thank you for always being present
Yes, we
and
have
for
some
your
people.
support.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. And we have some people here on Instagram, and we have some people on YouTube, some people on Facebook, because we are all live streaming in all of those. We see some people sending hearts. Say thank you so much. We appreciate it. Just for you to know, we do Spanish. Oops, we do Spanish lives on Thursdays, and we go live um, English speaking on
On
Fridays.
Fridays.
Yes, always
So,
at 8. So Thursdays and Fridays.
so for the bilingual people, you can do Thursday and Friday.
Yes, definitely, of
Get
course.
give a double dose.
I like that double dose of consciousness.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's a good soup to take.
Yeah, right. That's a good pill.
Definitely, that's the red pill.
So,
So what we are kind of giving you is the red pill, like in the
yes,
Matrix.
like
Yes,
in the Matrix.
definitely. So for the ones that are just joining and don't know what we do here live, we are following the information of this book that I wrote 2 years ago.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God,
God,
it's
been
been 2 years
almost.
because we're in
Oh my gosh, I
2023.
can't believe it. Yes. Okay, so
Wow.
I wrote this book 2 years, almost 2 years ago.
Buy the book.
Buy the
Buy the
book.
book.
Yes, you can find it in Amazon on paper version or also on Kindle. And so our idea in this, let's say, book club is that we can expand the information. Sometimes we read and we kind of go by what we see there, but we don't internalize it.
Mhm.
So we want to expand it so you really get the most out of this information, because I find this very valuable in the sense that it can help you see and recognize and identify why you are repeating these patterns and where they come from and the true root cause of conflict that certain aspects of your life might be limping or you just don't know how to create order with your relationships, with your health, with your finances. So there are many possibilities that it can be connected to your family system and you don't know it. So we are here to help you transcend those memories. There are exercises in this book that you can follow just to recreate your reality and your destiny. Simple exercises to acknowledge the past and to honor it and to liberate it. As simple as that.
And it's a very deep book. It's one of those books that you read a couple of times. The other day I realized with myself that I had a pattern that this was the fifth year in it. I'm
Hmm.
like, and that was 5 years.
Wow.
And this was the year that I became aware.
Oh,
I'm
so tell
like,
us about it.
it's like one of these things. Sometimes I have challenges doing events,
Mm-hmm.
and I have an event to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down, I'm like, oh my God, I'm having the same challenge
Mm-hmm.
again to do that event.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to sit, and I'm right smack in the middle of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
It just came into my awareness. I went to
The
the
book.
book,
Uh-huh.
said, let me see. I did a family constellation with one of the
Beautiful.
facilitators, and
Uh-huh.
now I'm looking at it. What is
So
the
where it came
pattern?
from? Tell us. Tell us. So we want to know. I want to know.
Maybe not to make a long story short, it came from my great grandmother.
Mm.
You know,
So the
she.
great grandma had the same
Hmm.
sort of attitude towards
Yep.
events.
And it seems like I'm the one that chose to heal it.
Ah, beautiful.
And it's so interesting because I was thinking, wow, it took 5 cycles.
Look at
It was
that.
year number 5.
Oh, look at
And
that.
at first I thought, man, it took so long. And then I thought, no, everything is in perfect
Perfect
divine,
order.
perfect order. This was when I was supposed to do it. And I
Beautiful.
and I feel so liberated now.
Mhm.
It's like, oh wow. It's like life is exciting and blissful. 5 years, that's what it needed to take. But you know what? I'm doing it now. And that's
Yes,
what matters.
beautiful. I celebrate you,
Thank you,
Janet.
thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, because sometimes we want things like just now. I want to change that now. I want that to be different just
That's
now.
me.
Some things require time and a process to heal it. Certain things just don't heal from one day to another. For example, the mother. Right? Our mother is something that we don't hear from one day to another, no matter how much we love each other and where we are. We have so many memories with the mother. So
A
our
lot,
mother,
yes.
yeah, is something that we have to heal little by little until we get to the core, to that deepest energy. It could be some sort of um, shadow energy within you that you haven't discovered that might be affecting other relationships in your life. So, something that we need to transcend, and that's why we do this family constellations work. So,
Mhm.
welcome, welcome.
Welcome, yes.
And we have a beautiful and juicy topic, as Janet usually
Yeah,
says.
juicy, juicy, juicy. We like
Yes,
those ones.
yes. So, the topic tonight is called Secrets that Recreate Chaos in the Family System. So, we cannot say it. You're forbidden. You're
Mhm.
not supposed to say it. Shh.
We all have been there,
Yes,
right? I'm not the only one.
yes, definitely. So we want to talk about those secrets that can be affecting the descendants today. And that if those secrets, the secrets actually want to come out to the light, right? But the one who's holding the secrets is afraid of something, right? Because secrets usually hide guilt and
Shame.
shame and many other things that don't people don't want others to know, right? The shadow
The
again.
shadow. It's
The
like, what would
shadow.
people say? What would
What will
they
people
think of
say?
me?
Am I gonna be rejected because what I did? Am I gonna be judged because of what I did or what we did as a family system? So we want to talk a little bit about those secrets.
Like I like saying, the stories you were told that not even yours.
Yes, exactly. And that you will be projecting those even if you don't know about them. For example, you can say, why did I, let's say, why did I go through abuse? So the abuse, the person who abused you, let's say, I'm just giving an example here,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily showed up in your life as coincidence. It's all synchronicity. We must understand that any event in our life, if we don't know it, is destiny.
It has a purpose.
It has a purpose, and the purpose is that you can discover, why did that happen to me?
I always say that's how much you love yourself that you created that event so that you can discover
Yes.
why did that happen to me.
Yes, that's an opportunity not only to change your reality and your destiny, but the whole family system's destiny.
And don't get us wrong, it's not. We're not saying that this is easy.
No,
You know,
and
it
that
takes
certain
work.
things, let's say you don't have to accept 100%, but
Hmm.
surrender to what it was. That's very important. I don't need to agree with it, but I must surrender to my past, to
Right.
my ancestors' past, to what happened, no matter what it was. Hmm?
And we take a deep breath with that one because some of them are
Yes,
really deep and tough, and you
yes,
know,
yes.
we
So,
work
so,
through them.
so we're gonna talk just about some, maybe a few of them that are very common, and people still tend to hide them. For example, abuse. Abuse is one of them. And just today we had a case on a sexual abuse that happened to this lady, and her mother kind of knew about it,
Mm.
and she just couldn't understand why mom wouldn't do anything to help me. It's like those sort of things, because the mother knew about it and never apologized. This girl was always waiting for mom to say, "I'm sorry. I couldn't do anything, or I couldn't do it differently, or I just didn't know how to work that out, or something." But the mother just didn't, and she didn't do anything, knowing what happened and with the person that happened. The whole event, and so this is one of those. How do you say it when the sexual abuse happened between the same members of the family? It's a sort of incest.
Yeah, incest. That's exactly what it
Incest.
is.
Yes.
Incest. Yes.
So incest is one of those secrets.
That's a toughy one. Oh,
It's a tough one that if we don't bring uh, the truth and confront it, and someone don't want to say it, and it happens, still wants to hide it, then the same experience keep happening to the next generation. Yes, someone must resolve the issue. So if you already know this, because you're listening to this information today or tonight, you can do something about it. You can change the reality of your family system by transcending it. How? You will say, how do I do that? We bring all of that information and we open something called the morphogenetic field. What is the morphogenetic field? The morphogenetic field shows us all the emotional resonance of what happened in that experience between the people that was involved. Yes? And we must recreate some order. So we need to heal all the pain and the suffering of what people experience. Plus, we must recreate order. And you will say, how am I going to recreate order with that? Well, if there is abuse in the family system and is incest, let's say it, then there is a perpetrator. And sometimes the perpetrator is excluded because of what he or she did. And in this order that we're talking about, when we talk about family constellations and the orders of love of Bert Hellinger, we have one order that is called the order of belonging. And if we all belong to the system, even the people who interferes negatively in your system or in your life, they all belong already because they are changing the course of your story. So we must acknowledge them. If they came into my life, they came to show me something that the system is pulsing with, an energy called abuse that pulses in the whole family system. And I became the victim of it, or I can become the perpetrator of it. Any of the two possibilities. Because the energy is there. You magnetize it to be the victim or to be the perpetrator. Yes? So these secrets usually have those two parts. Where are you today? Or what is your story? Where do you see? Was I the one who did it or was I the one who received it? And no matter which one you were, because no one is perfect, and we are in this duality place where we are working on creating the balance, the equilibrium, right?
Yes.
And in order for us to do that, we must include the perpetrator, no matter how hard it looks or it seems.
Yes. Because the thing is, the story would just keep repeating itself.
Yes, and so sometimes it's hard to understand these concepts.
Yes.
Yes, it
It
is.
is.
Because at the beginning you might say, but how am I going to, um, let's say, accept or integrate someone who created a chaos or who made us wrong or something like that? You know, that's the difficult part.
And dealing with the emotions, anger,
Anger,
frustration,
resentment,
the
hate, even
hurt. Yeah,
hate.
hate.
Yes.
So,
So it is understandable, and that's why at the beginning I said it is a process. It requires a process. And the first step is to say, oh, I see that that energy is pulsing in my family system. That means it's pulsing within me. Yes, so accepting, surrendering to what is.
yes.
We cannot change what is. We can change a reality based on that I'm integrating that part that I'm seeing that I don't want to be experiencing again. But I'm not just rejecting or excluding this part of me because it's already part of us. So it's hard
It is
sometimes.
hard. I mean, a lot of people go in denial with that. It is
Yes,
hard.
it is
We
hard.
acknowledge that it's hard.
Yes. So today was for me, it was a gift actually today, this constellation of this lady.
And talking about constellation, I'm sorry, I just have to
Yes.
say this.
Uh-huh.
Even when we constellate, we bring what we need to heal.
Yes.
So, like Maya saying, this case, that's probably pulsing in her.
It is. It is. And I'm
So she
telling you,
like,
and I'm just gonna be honest here. Someone in my family system went through it. And it's someone that is very close to me. So let's say, when it happened, I wasn't even born, but somehow I was already there. Yes, the abuse. I'm talking about the sexual abuse. So somehow I have this sort of unconscious memory that abuse is there and I need to protect myself from it by wanting to control others or being strong. I'm not going to allow it, but it's unconscious. Or I could have become the victim, as I somehow did in other sense, not sexually, but in other sense, I allowed some sort of abuse in other ways in my life. Yes. So when this lady was healing that, I actually was healing with her. And I actually cried in this family constellation because um, I was healing that like I became, or I was representing that sort of a mother who came to hug this girl who went through that. And she finally got to release all of that pain and that suffering of what she felt. She felt paralyzed. Like when it happened, she just didn't know what to do. She just accepted it and she knew it was going to happen. And all of what happened there, I, I can feel that was something that was pulsing in my family system and it was pulsing in me. So as I was embracing and hugging this person, I was healing that as well.
That's beautiful.
Yes, and
Absolutely beautiful.
yes, it was so powerful that I think that my highlight of the day was that constellation.
Yeah, a lot of healing.
A lot of healing and accepting and also including the perpetrator. She was like, I see you, I can recognize you. I can recognize that energy is present in my family system, even if we don't like it, even if you mother don't want to see it, because the mother in this family constellation didn't want to see her truth. But the person who came to Constellate that went through abuse, sexual abuse from someone from the same family system, she saw it and she said, okay, you're part of me. I cannot deny the information that I'm carrying. So I can integrate it and I can liberate it and liberate myself and liberate the ancestors that couldn't liberate that energy before and liberate the descendants from having the same sort of experience again.
All I can say is wow and beautiful. And look how magical this work is.
Yes, it was
Magical.
so powerful, so beautiful, so healing. Even the perpetrator, the way the perpetrator felt, it was just everything was so embracing the whole moment. It had this magic because we can recreate that. You can recreate that.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yes.
You can recreate it and change the story of it. But the first thing you need to accept it.
Yes.
Excuse me. That's very important. Then from there, now there's awareness, and
Mhm.
now we can do it differently.
Yes. Yes. Grandmas and grandpas hold a lot of secrets. A lot of things weren't told. If you ask your mother, but what grandma did say about this? Oh, I don't know. She barely spoke. Oh, I don't know. When I ask her or ask him about that, they stay quiet. So why did they stay quiet? Because they are reserved, because they don't want to bring out the pain that might be causing,
And in
whether
those
you were the
times,
victim or whether you were the perpetrator.
and in those times, we weren't, especially women, we weren't allowed to talk.
Yes, yes.
Everything was
Uh-huh. Yes, just keep it secret.
keep it secret.
Um, I had this story that was very impactful for me, and this is another secret. Someone also in my system spoke about when she was too young. For example, I'm gonna give you some examples that I know from my family system that could be secrets that can recreate chaos, right? So this lady, she is a relative, and she was telling me that when she was like very young, she fell in love with this man, and they had sex, and she got pregnant. And her father, back then, just imagine how it would be for a lady to be pregnant without being married. So her own father took her and got her an abortion. So how much hate is this woman holding towards her father. And she thinks my father is bad because of what he made me do. And I had not the power or the strength to do it differently. Yes, and they didn't. So those are memories that need healing.
Mhm.
I have another story, and all of this I've heard from my family system, from let's say my grandpas, from my mother's side, sisters. So this time was the time of violence in Colombia, and it happened that this great grandma decided to marry one of these, or all of the most she could, all of these women before they could be raped or something like that. And
Mhm.
so they still were children. And so she married these young women to old men to save them. But just think of this. How was for them to experience love? Love wasn't there. It was just convenient because of the situation, but love wasn't there. So then I discovered that these women, eventually, when they were older, were looking for other men that were younger. So betrayal comes in place.
Mhm.
But why betrayal came in place? Because this man is not the man I want to be connected sexually with. He's my husband, but it's not the one I want to experience, because it's not the one I chose. And it's not justifying,
Right, but
but it was what it was. It happened. We all want to experience connection.
yeah. And the fact that we couldn't even control it, you know what I mean? It's like it was done, it's like we didn't have a say. We had to stay quiet.
Yes, yes. So then behind their backs, people was talking about them. So there is judgment
Hmm.
because you're not a loyal wife.
Wow, it's like you have to wow, can't judge a book by its cover. Have to listen to both sides of the story.
So it is reconciling. For example, in this case, that of course, if that person will come to Constellate, I would say that we must do a work of reconciliation between this daughter who went through that marriage that she didn't approve, right?
Mhm.
And her father, right? Or her mother, I guess it was her father who chose that destiny for her. And so probably this daughter would express how unhappy or how unfair it was, whatever that person feels, because there is an emotion that is there.
It's attached to you.
You haven't been able to express how angry you are that someone else chose for you.
You
And
probably might even feel guilty over feeling angry.
yes, of course, and yeah, of course, because you feel guilty of thinking bad of your father who chose that destiny for you,
Hmm.
right? So there is a possibility to reconcile those memories. When we enter into the morphogenetic field, we can feel the emotional resonance of each of these members of the family. And many times, and most of the times, when the person is conscious enough, the reconciliation happens and say, okay, I surrender to what was, and I can see that you just did it because you thought it was the best, right? And maybe the fire can say, I'm sorry, I thought it was the best for you. I didn't know it was gonna be, bring you such a unhappiness, or whatever thing happens, those reconciling moments, even though they are happening now in the morphogenetic field during the session, it's like we went back to the past and remade the whole scene.
Hmm.
And that's what creates the change. And that's what creates the healing.
You re-scripted different words.
Yes. is rewriting the script,
Yeah.
not by just writing it, by feeling
Feeling
it.
it, experiencing it.
Yes, yes,
So
yes. So, isn't that interesting, Janet?
I was just thinking about, I grew up in a family that everything was a secret.
Mm-hmm.
My mother will always say, "Shh, don't tell nobody. Shh, don't tell nobody." And the other day, I was doing something. I was telling my son something,
Mm-hmm.
and I go, "Personal and confidential."
There you go.
And I say, "What?" Now that I'm saying that, I'm like, "Oh my god."
Look at that. We just do it unconsciously. We do it unconsciously until we are conscious enough or aware enough to say, what did I say? Why do I want my son to keep this secret?
Yeah.
Then some secrets are hidden in your family system
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing it the same.
Mm-hmm.
There are stories in the past where, let's say, I'm just going to give you an example. Someone killed another, and the whole system knows it. And everybody here is like involved. So somehow no one can say the truth because then our member of the family is gonna go in jail, or in those times maybe it could be judged and they also can get killed because of what they did. So it's all in the favor of protecting the system, but that is affecting every member of the family system that got to see that scene. Some of them might feel guilt. Some of them might feel like I, I have to learn. That's a way of saying lie to others because we need to protect ourselves. So you need to lie to others. So the whole family system is acting upon that secret. And that psychologically is affecting each of them.
And then there's always someone that wants to say the secret. They want to say it.
They want to say it,
It's
and
like,
then that's against the family system. They maybe leave the system, not wanting to participate in what the secret is, but the secret is here because it is in your information. The whole system is holding that information. So someone must liberate the secrets in your family or your family's secrets. Yes,
mhm.
and that could be you. So let's go to the book, right? And let's read some of those secrets that might be affecting you or your life or your destiny, your reality, and you might not be aware of them. So let's see what the book says. And by the way, secrets are invisible loyalties. As Janet just said,
Yeah.
oh, I just did it.
I just repeated what my mother has done to me to this day all her life. And
Mhm.
as we talk to this topic, I'm like, you know what? I've been doing it to my kids all my life.
There you go. So open your
Mhm.
eyes. Okay, let's see. There are many other cases. Oh, by the way, for the ones that are following the book, Alchemy for the Soul, we are on page number 226. And this is what it says. There are many other cases of invisible loyalties that return to play the same dysfunctional dynamic in the system. That is the case of the secret affairs.
Mhm.
Like I was just sharing with you this secret about this woman who married this man, and then he was too old for her. And then eventually, when she was growing and she was more like a young adult, she wanted to experience something different. And so
Mhm.
she was having affairs, but she kept that secret because she wanted to be able to connect in another sense with a partner. Somehow it's
Mhm.
understandable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably more her age.
yes. So I once saw in therapy a woman who shared with me that as a child, she discovered that her paternal grandma used to host in her house secretly both. the wife and the mistress of her father. I remember this case, yes. Saturday was for her mother and her family, and Sunday was for the other one. There were two families that didn't know about each other or pretended not to know about each other. So this case was very interesting,
Oh my
right?
God.
Because
To say the least.
so can you imagine having a mother-in-law who is just like Shakira and Piqué?
Mm.
She this woman, right, was she knew about her son's affair with Clara, and Shakira didn't know about it. Isn't that interesting? Speaking of secrets, because this mother was recreating that secret. It's a secret. So the whole family system, as you can see, pulses with the energy of betrayal and infidelity.
Yes. Oh God.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen it a lot myself, like within my family and within my friends. So it's like you're saying, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yes. So when this woman, she was growing as a child, she was growing, and one day she returned home to for something, and she saw that grandma was receiving
Oh my God.
the mistress and their children. So those were her siblings too, right? And she was like in shock.
Now that can be pretty traumatizing.
It can be traumatizing. Now listen to this other story.
It gets
I'm just
juicier.
kidding.
It just gets
Yes,
juicier.
it gets better. No, not this story, but I'm gonna tell you another story. This is a man who came to Constellate, or of course betrayal, right? Because he was having issues with his partner. This is a man, right? And I was just asking him some questions about his family system and his father and his mother, and said, well, mom and dad, I really don't know if they really, like, how was that relationship? And I was like, so how is that? Well, I don't know. I just, mom was always following him, so that means that this woman was following him because she wasn't trusting in him.
Hmm.
So she kind of knew about the others, not the other, the others.
Wow.
At certain point, they actually knew each other. These mistresses all kind of knew each other, and they all knew about their own children with the same man, right? But this boy didn't know about it. So one day he's in school, right? And there is a girl in the same classroom with the same last name, the same last name. And so he's like, I'm curious, you have the same last name as me. Well, one day, at the when they leave school, when the all children leave school, he goes and sees that the girl goes out, and guess what? The one who picked her up, was her father, which was also his father, and he didn't know about it. So that was his sister, and he didn't know this girl was his sister. They were siblings.
And that was his introduction at that young age to betrayal.
Yes. So all of these cases are secrets that create more chaos in the family system. It will happen again if someone doesn't reconcile the
Hmm.
past. And that's why we invite you to live the experience of a family constellation work, because you might be able to liberate that there by integrating those memories. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
It's very deep, very healing work.
yes. So let's see what else. So when the stories of love affairs are hidden, these affairs continue to happen as an invisible loyalty and repetitive pattern to the system. Sometimes women want to cover the sun with a finger. That means that I don't want to see it. It's like
Right.
I want to put my tongue there. I don't see, I don't want to confront it. Just as it happened today with the abuse, the mother in the actual morphogenetic field, she didn't want to see it. She just didn't want to see it. Because sometimes to protect ourselves, we create a split. See, mentally, psychologically, we create a split not to experience that trauma again, that pain again. And that's a way to protect ourselves, our hearts, and not to remember how painful the memory was. So we hide it and we just don't want to see it. But it's there. It's there. So you as a descendant are carrying it and you have the responsibility to heal it. Even if you
Mhm.
don't like it, even if you don't agree with it, even if all of what we're talking here about doesn't make sense for you, eventually it will.
That
I'm
is
sorry to
true.
be so honest.
Yeah, eventually it will. Yes.
Yes. So, however, the secrets will always come to the light and they will show where they are least expected. Yes. And then we tend to complain, but why this happened to me again?
I mean, it's like, can you see how we create it?
Yes,
Because
it recreates,
it
it
has to,
duplicates.
it has to heal. So
Yes,
yeah,
it needs healing. It needs healing. If you see something in
it's
your,
like, look at me, look
yes,
at me,
the
and it'll
scene,
keep getting in your face until you look at it.
the scene comes back
Yes, it does.
because the scene wants to be recreated. And how do you recreate the scene? By healing it, by integrating the memory. Yes. Hi, Sophia.
Yeah,
Blessings to you too. Thank you for being here.
it's like it
Beautiful.
is what it is.
Yes, it is what it is. Yes. We must work with what we have
Mhm.
and not with what we would like it to be. It's not going to be different. Yes, for example, I had a constellation this week. It was this lady that was saying, but I want it to be like this. And I said, but it's not. It was as it was. We cannot change that, but we can change it from today by integrating this and by liberating it with gratitude, with understanding, with comprehension, with consciousness.
And love, and a lot
And
of
love,
love.
yes,
Yeah, like what we
definitely.
were talking about, that all we need is love.
Yes, definitely. So when we talk about that the secrets show when we least expect it, and I say I'd rather say that this happens because it is the synchronicity of life that wants to heal the system of life. Yes, yes. So life wants to be healed so we can reprogram it through our own healing. Yes,
Mhm.
through our own healing. That's why these sort of scenes repeat until you say, I don't want it to repeat anymore. And then you heal it. And then for that, you really need to live this experience of family constellations.
Yes.
I've seen this work is so powerful, more than just understanding what happened to you and why you went through it. Yes, maybe you can go to a therapist and the therapist can say, well, you went through abuse because your mother went through abuse. Oh, okay. What are you going to do with that information?
Mhm.
You still have some emotions that haven't been healed, that are not yours, are your mother's emotions when she went through it. And you are carrying those emotions. Yes?
Yes.
So healing requires this acknowledgement
Mhm.
and also this willingness to put yourself and to confront those memories and to say, yeah, I can see your abuse. I can see that you're part of my information, that I magnetize you.
Because you sure did.
because we sure do.
Yeah. And that's how the
Yes,
family constellation will help you because it will help you see it. So then now you can do it differently and change the destiny
yes,
for yourself and the generations to come.
yes, exactly. So I there is another example here. Oh, I think that's the story that I just spoke. Yes, I have the story of the guy who came to Constellate and found out that one of his mates from school was
His
his
sister.
sister. So secrets, again, secrets that affect or create more chaos. Yes. So I have heard more dramatic stories like these where siblings fall in love and later discover they are family. That's what happens when the secrets were kept secret.
Hmm.
That sometimes two people, maybe see and fall in love and they just don't know, but they were siblings.
Yes.
And I've heard these cases. Actually, there is a song in Spanish that speak about this man who fell in love with this woman. And then at the end, the mother tells the daughter, you cannot marry this man because this man is your brother.
Can you imagine?
That means that the mother betrayed the father and had an affair with another man. So this daughter is not the daughter of her husband, but is the daughter of another man. That was the secret.
Hmm.
So she still kept knowing more about this man that wasn't the husband. And this man had, of course, another woman, had a son, and they were kind of the same age. And when they grew up, they wanted to avoid these children to see each other. And destiny, synchronicity brought them together. And so they fell in love with each other. They
Mm.
couldn't marry. Isn't that interesting?
And
Oh,
hard. Oh my God. Yeah.
there is a song about that story.
We have to find that song.
Yes, oh my gosh. So if the song came out means that it happened.
And it probably happens too often.
Definitely. So this is the importance of bringing the secrets to light, no matter what they are. When someone outside of the system affects the system positively or negatively, they already become part of the system.
Yes.
Yes,
That is something that is important that is accepted and embraced.
yes, yes, definitely. So let's talk about another secret. We have 10 more minutes. Let's talk about this other one. Because at this time in history, it's more accepted, but in the past, it was not.
It was a no-no.
And no, no. So when someone had one of the members of the family was born, let's say, with a mental illness or disease, they thought it was a shame for the family. And they would put him in a sanatory and never spoke about that person. Yes? So that is an exclusion. There is one member of the system that is excluded, needs or there needs to be included. Yes? And I wrote this here. Another case of secrets that used to happen in the past was that of a family member with a condition of mental illness or insanity. The ancestors considered this to be shameful or a punishment. Yes, they used to say that it was a punishment to the family and would hide the member from others. They used to put these members in mental institutions and never mention them as part of the family. The family kept these members as a secret, which also created an exclusion in the system. There is one child in the royalty,
In the royal family.
yeah, in
Okay.
the royal family, who was born with a sort of a mental illness,
Okay.
and they kept it secret. I went to YouTube and I was watching that. I'm trying to remember who it was, but they excluded that member of the system, and
Yes.
they had someone taking care of that person, but they would if that person wouldn't come to be shown to the public, they were hiding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it happens like the royal family. It's trickles down.
Oh, like the story of Arnold Schwarzenegger, was
Yeah.
that?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, I said. I think we said it right. Schwarzenegger.
Well, whatever it is his name,
Yeah.
he had a secret, and the secret came out to the light with his son, who was just like him.
It was like the exact picture.
So secrets want to come to the light. In that case was it's the perfect case. It's like you don't wanna show your truth. I'm gonna show it. And this child came, and it was just like a photocopy of this man.
A photocopy. And I remember his wife finding out 25 years later.
Later,
And it happened in her own, I mean,
in her
home,
own,
in her own home.
yeah, in their home, and how it was so traumatic for his child or their children, and also to include the mistress who had worked for them for so long, and she got pregnant. She had this baby. The baby got to stay there with them. So this son belonged to the system. And so 25 years later, the whole reconciliation, I think it happened, right? That they got to accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah.
siblings accepted each other, it
Yeah.
seems.
It's important.
Yeah, it's important. And um, young people and like new generations are more open.
Yeah, they're more forgiving, more open, more
More like,
accepting.
that's nothing. They just don't think it's so relevant. But
Right.
in the past, it
Ooh,
was.
that was a no-no.
Yes, yes. So let's see. We are about to finish this, and it's also worth mentioning here the cases of members who committed suicide, which are another form of showing an exclusion. We can better see that insanity often appears in descendants as a way to recognize, accept, and include someone who has not been seen in the system. Yes, suicide, when someone commits suicide, is we are talking about there is an exclusion that hasn't been able to be seen. I don't know if you get to see this movie, The Society of the Dead Poets, I believe it's
Yeah,
called.
the Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Where he committed suicide because the father wanted him to be someone else that he was not. So look how the exclusion can take another person to say, but I cannot be myself. So I'd rather die.
Wow.
So that system, for example, if we talk about that movie, means that someone was so rejected for not being what the clan expected that person to be. So that person, I mean, if you cannot be yourself, you have to be fulfilling the expectations of someone in your clan. I'd rather don't be here.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have permission to be myself who wants to stay, and then you can maybe you feel disempowered. Is that
Yeah, disempower. And that was their way of rebelling too to the family.
Yes, it's a lot of say, well, that's what you want. I cannot fulfill your desire.
So
I'm leaving.
I'm doing it my way.
Yes, exactly. Lourdes is saying, my niece husband's father and sister committed suicide. How that can be affecting our grand nephews. Hmm. So your niece, husband's father and sister committed suicide. That's an interesting case because remember that all systems are mirrors. So why did your niece attracted this husband with that situation? Just think of that. See? Because if you are part of that system, it means that as someone was excluded um, in your system, that she attracted someone who, uh, in his system, committed suicide. So there is a part, it says, no, her husband's father and his sister. I'm confused now. No, not her husband's father and his sister.
So like the granddad, because her husband's father.
Let me see. This is my niece's husband's father. So the husband's father
So in the sense,
and his sister.
and the
So-
sister of the granddad then.
So that means no, her husband's father and the sister of the
husband.
father.
Okay.
They both committed suicide. And so why did your niece attracted a man with that specific situation? That's the question here. And we can talk about it, yes, but we will need more information. Let's say we will need more information, but the important part here is to see that is showing me some information. It's not just your niece and her story, it's the whole family system story. She attracted that because maybe someone has been excluded or not accepted in your family system. And it's not the husband or your niece's husband, but somehow someone a generation before hasn't been included.
And it was two people.
There
So-
were two people. If
so-
if it was just one, but two,
Two that
That's-
is speaking. That is
that's
screaming.
speaking. That's screaming.
That's screaming.
That is screaming. Somehow you could see who has been excluded that couldn't be, for example, that couldn't express, because not necessarily suicide, but maybe someone was so repressed in your system as well. It's a sort of killing you. Yes, people don't get to suicide because you have to really be brave to do that, or desperate to do that, right? But sometimes you accept things and you suicide yourself even though your body doesn't die. When you deny what you want, it's like a symbolic suicide. Yes, my body continue being here, but it's like I give a death to myself when I
death to the
don't, when I
body.
accept what others expect from me and I cannot be myself. Everything is symbolic. Don't just
Yeah.
take it as it seems or it looks, but what's your part?
Look for the deeper meaning.
Yes.
What is it saying? Yeah. What's your part?
Hi, Giovannina. Sending love to you too. Do you miss it? The recording is going to stay in YouTube. You can watch it later. And also it's here in Instagram. But thank you, Lourdes, for sharing that. I like what you just got, the conclusion that we got to see, Sometimes when we deny our truth or who we are or what we want to be or um, what others want, and I don't prioritize myself, it's a sort of suicide.
Yeah, that's. Oh
It
my
is.
God.
It's
It
an
is true.
energetic suicide because I'm denying myself to do what I want, but what others want me to do.
And we see that so much.
We see that so much.
Yes.
Yes.
So
So let's close it here when it says, when the family would hide these members the secret can affect the descendants with conditions like schizophrenia. Oh, this is interesting. When, like for example, suicide or there was someone who killed another, a murder, huh?
Mhm.
All of those cases that have been hidden, they might recreate in the descendants certain diseases or illnesses like or conditions like schizophrenia, dementia, or bipolarity. Sometimes people with these conditions came to serve their family system and they need to be included for the reconciliation to happen. These conditions are seen differently in science because they are skipping the systemic angle. Yes, yes. So to heal a condition like this, we must create a reconciliation between whoever died or killed the perpetrator and the victim, let's say. That's what's happening when someone has that paranoia or those
Mental health
mental
issues.
health issues. It could
Yes.
be that the person cannot be present here, but is trapped in the past in a memory that hasn't been reconciled. And it needs to come into the field to reconcile those two so the person can live that memory and be present here in this reality.
I mean, right now it's a little bit of an epidemic with that. I mean, before we had psychologists, psychiatrists, now we have mental health people, behavior issues, like all this, the system is speaking.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, everybody has one in their family. The
Yes.
system is speaking.
Yes, definitely. All right. I guess we are going to leave it there because we still have a little bit to go.
So I was going to say, in conclusion,
In conclusion,
let's face and let's stop the secrets.
we can say um, if you don't know about these secrets, but you have that sixth sense
There we go. Yep.
that tells you, I don't know, but I feel like it. Pay attention to that.
And be gentle with yourself with it as well.
Without judgments,
Yes.
you
No
can say,
judgment.
maybe I should put that in the morphogenetic field and see what it says. And so you can confront your truth and transcend it for the benefit of all,
Mhm.
including you. Yes.
Understand that it's not easy and it is a process, and be gentle with yourself because it's just not easy to go and say secrets. It
Yes.
comes with a lot
Yes.
and it comes in tangles. So,
All right. I guess
yeah.
we just share some information or a lot of information for you to digest. Before we go, we want to invite you to if you think that or this information resonates with you, somehow you say, I want to go deeper and see what is in my family system, what could be affecting me, and how I can recreate my reality by transcending these memories. Our next training program is about to begin. We will be starting again in April. So if this information of transcending your ancestors as ancestors is something that your soul is been speaking to you and you feel it as a call, welcome to join us. We are again starting in April. So contact me and so just register. We have an offer before March 1st. You can go to my website, systemichealinginstitute.com, and check there the dates and the modules, and everything is there. The price, and actually, you can register by just buying the first module. And I'll be so happy to be your guide and to facilitate you this process. You will do your own healing throughout that whole program. Plus, you will be able to learn and be prepared to facilitate others. Yes.
Absolutely. And of
Yes.
course, if it resonates, hit the like and share it. Continue sharing it. You know, talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it.
Please,
Talk
please,
about
please.
it.
To talk about it, we need to reprogram life, and
Yes.
this is a
Yes.
great tool to do it.
Yes,
So
it is.
thank you so much for being present, for watching, for being open to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to be open to this, but thank you so much. We are in gratitude that we can come here and open this microphone and
share.
share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
share.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what can happen? So it's a possibility.
Mhm.
And that's all we can do. But thank you so much. We're
Thank you.
sending
Yes.
you
Lots of love
lots and blessings.
and
And
blessings.
we hope to see you next
To
week.
next week,
Yes.
next Friday.
Yes, next Friday at 8.
Same time, same
Yes.
channel.
Bye, Giovannina. Bye, Sophia. Thank you so much.
Bye bye, everyone.
Okay, let's see.